Hey guys, I feel like I should paint my nails and all you're seeing is my hands. But on to video 2. So, first video, we learned how to cast on. So we have all of our stitches here ready to go. So we want to make sure we keep our short end out of the way. It's going to get in the way for the first few rows. You also want to make sure you have some extra that's loose, that's not tight on your skein. Make things a lot easier. So if you have watched any of my videos, hear me talk about knitting, have any of my patterns, you kind of know my go-to move is to slip the first stitch purlwise. It creates a nice kind of edging, but it's really simple. So your very first stitch is actually not going to be a stitch. Just pointing down, you're going to pass the stitch over to the other needle, and that's it. So now your first knit stitch, you're going to come up from underneath and behind. And this is where I said the short one's going to get in the way. Make sure you are actually knitting with your long piece. You're going to bring it behind and between. So you see how it's kind of created like an 8. Now you're going to bring your right needle down so you can see how it's pressing on that one you brought between, and then slide off. So you've knit your first stitch. Let's keep going. So you're going to come up and behind, and then this is going to come around in between again. So it's dividing that into 2. Bring this needle down. Make sure you still hold on to that, and then slide it off. There you go. So, up, behind. Bring this in between the 2. And then slide this down. So that extra piece you brought between the 2 is now here. And slide off. So you're passing all your stitches from your left needle to your right needle. Now, if you're left-handed and you go the opposite way, you can. It's the exact same steps, you're just flipping it the other way. So up behind. This is going in between, so you can see. Down, up and off. Up and behind. Split this between. So down, this is the part you're splitting. Slip it off. It is easier to work with your stitches, at least the 2 that you have on the ends closer to your point. I use my finger a lot to make sure that I don't pull the stitch off before I'm ready. But you only have so much space in between, so having your stitches closer to the end makes it so you can maneuver a little bit better. And it's just the same move over and over. So you're going up underneath. Ooh, sorry about that, guys. My phone holder, it's not super stable. So one thing to be careful of, don't split the yarn. It's a little bit harder to do when you're doing these chunky knits, but sometimes when you have something a little bit finer, it's really easy to split, so you only go through the yarn instead of through the hole. Make sure you're going through the loop. All right, we're almost there. All right, we knit our first row. So if you are knitting my chunky scarf pattern, you're going to keep on repeating this until you get to the end of your first skein. So I'm going to go a little bit quicker, though I will say I'm used to, with these big knitting needles, these are size 19, I am used to resting on my leg, so standing up is making it a little funky. But so we're slipping our first stitch purlwise. That means we're going down instead of up and just passing it to the other needle. And then we go knit, so we're going underneath and then up. Let's loosen up some more here. Now I do keep everything that I'm knitting to the bottom of my knitting needles, which as you get extra will be easier because the weight is going to want to automatically pull it down. When you're in the first couple of rows, it's a lot easier if you keep that towards the bottom. Ignore me as I drop these needles. Go around and behind before you go between. And look, already the start of a scarf. All right, guys, continue on.